The Thinkware U1000 is the best dashcam you can buy in 2023, or at least that's what they tell you. Well, today we're going to find out because they have sent me one to review. Let's get started. Hello YouTubes, welcome to another Test It Tuesday. I'll be doing this review in chapters, so if you want to skip all the nerdy unboxing type stuff and get straight to the action, you're welcome to do so. The link will be down below. Right, let's start off with my priorities, what I personally want out of a dashcam. Video quality. You've got to be able to read number plates both in daytime and nighttime, otherwise it's kind of pointless. Not so bothered about audio quality, as long as you can hear what's happening, especially if there's any interaction with a road rager or the police, that kind of thing. You want it recorded for your own security. Stabilization, pretty important. That's going to come into when you're reading number plates. Again, if it's jumping up and down or blurring as cars drive by, then it's not really doing any good. Number two priority for me personally is connectivity. How do you get the image, either video or still shot, onto your PC or upload or whatever? Is it Wi-Fi? Is it SD card? That kind of thing. Or does it go straight to the cloud? Who knows? And number three would be functions. All the smarty pants stuff that it can actually do, apart from just taking video. Does it have Wi-Fi? All that kind of thing. So we're going to find all that out, but as I say, step one is going to be the nerdy unboxing thing, and as I say, if you want to skip all that and go straight to the action, link down below. Right, let's see what's in the box. So this is the Thinkware Dashcam U1000, what's that, 2CH, I don't know what that stands for, and by the looks of it I'm getting the front camera and the rear camera. Still sealed, so you'll know what's inside when I know what's inside. Wi-Fi hotspot, polarizing filter included. I don't know if that means it's attached or it's an optional item you can add if you want to use it. On the side, let's see, 4K Ultra HD, Sony, what's that, Exmor, I don't know what that is, Thinkware Cloud, Super Night Vision, Wi-Fi, GPS. That's in French. Let's see if it says something different on the other side. Yes. Road safety warnings. Interesting. Safety camera alert, which means speed camera. Radar detector, I'm thinking. Parking mode, that's interesting. Android or iOS. Okay, let us unseal the box, find out what's inside. I'm not going to bore you with the unboxing. I will quickly open this up, spread it over the table. So what do we have? Okay, we have got instruction manual, required, customer service information, hopefully not required, QR code link for the mobile app. This will be the little polarizing filter I was talking about. Hardware for mounting the front camera. Sticky pad. This will get stuck onto your front windscreen, and then there's 3 clips at the back. There's also another set of 3 clips independent of that. Perhaps you want to be able to mount it in a different vehicle. I'm not sure why that's different from that one. Spare sticky pad for the big mount. This is very nice. 32 gigabyte SD card with adapter adapter, forgotten what it's called. Anyway, you get that, which is nice. They don't usually include this sort of thing. We have power cable with 12 volt socket, so you can move it from one vehicle to another. 12 volt power cable for hardwiring. Presumably you will need this for the parking sensor. And what looks like a very long cable for the rear camera. This is the rear camera. Now, I was very interested to see this because I will be mounting this setup on my truck, and the rear window is vertical. So obviously this pad will need to go there so that the camera points backwards. I'm just wondering if this is going to obscure the lens. We'll find out soon enough. So that rotates all the way around. It does actually come out at this point. Not sure why. I guess you might want to take it out of your car for security reasons. But as I say, we'll find out if that's going to obscure the lens. I've got a feeling it might. As you can see, it's quite close to the lens. And of course, the front camera itself, which will be mounted roughly like that on your front windscreen with the sticky pad bracket thing. And obviously this lens will need to rotate, which it does. So presumably, let's see what angle, roughly about there. But we'll find out. We'll be able to move that once it's installed in the car. So let's go to the car. Oh, I will of course have to read the instructions first. I don't want to be completely noob. So give me like a couple of hours and I'll be back. Well, I'll be back like that for you guys. See you in the truck. This is my test subject for the day. Now you may see in the centre at the top of the windscreen there's a dark shaded area, so I am not going to be able to put the camera right in the middle at the top. I also have a slight issue at the back because that centre window area slides to the left, so obviously I can't attach a camera there. I'm going to attach it to the right hand side and I'll show you why. This centre of glass slides that way, so if I mount the camera there, the wires are going to get pulled out. If I mount the camera there, then the glass is going to hit the camera. So I have mounted the camera in this corner here. I could mount it behind the headrest, but I don't think it's going to make much difference. And also I'd rather have the height. So being in the corner, the wires will come out that side and get tucked up through there and go along that way. As I mentioned before, we have this whole shaded area up here, but it's also got the gubbins for the auto dim mirror, and also there's a satellite receiver, presumably for the satellite radio, so I can't put it there. I've opted for this section here, as high as I could get it. There's nothing coming out the top of this system, so I don't have to worry about wires, but there are wires coming out of this side, so it can't be too close to there. So I've got the sticky pad and mount on. This pops on there, clips this way, and that is good to go. Now obviously I need to run some cables, front dash cam to rear dash cam per cable, that kind of thing. But they're going to be very specific to this 2017 Ram 1500. So I will include that towards the end of the video, very specific for this truck. For now, we shall install just the 12 volt power cable straight to the cigarette lighter. But I will be wiring the hardwire kit later in the video, so we can take full advantage of all the special functions that we have for parking sensors, that kind of thing. So we need to install the little SD card, and then we need to install the app. So let me get things plugged in, slotted in, and then we'll get onto the app download. Power socket goes in there. And obviously the wire will be going up that way and disappearing into the headliner. Rear camera plugs in there, and it's nice that the wires can both point up the way and go out the way. Power socket into the 12 volt supply, but that is only going to activate when the ignition is on. Rear view camera plugs in there, and then that wire is going to get tucked right into this gap here, as neat as possible. SD card gets installed with these electrical connections pointing towards the glass. Just need to install the app now. Now there is an option to scan the QR code and go in that way. However, not every camera settings are going to allow you to do that. So let's do it the old-fashioned way. Go to your app store. I'm using an iPhone obviously, so I've got the app store. And we are going to be looking for Thinkware Cloud. Search Thinkware Cloud. Now I noticed there's Thinkware Dashcam link, Thinkware and Thinkware Cloud. So the book says Thinkware Cloud. We're going to click on that one. I'm guessing it's this one. Click on Get, and that should install onto your smartphone. Now we can move to the truck and connect it, hopefully. Let's switch on the ignition, see what happens.
Continuous recording will now start. On your smartphone, connect to a Wi-Fi network whose name starts with Thinkware. GPS connected.
Settings, Wi-Fi, and now the Thinkware has appeared. I'll click on that. Apparently we are connected. So let's go back to the app. Dashcam connection is required. U1000. Connect. And click on next.
Connected to a smartphone.
Yay, success. Okay, let's have a look at the live view and make sure it's working so far. That is the front of my garage. Very nice. Right, let's have a look at some of the functions. Let's see if we can spin it round, if it'll change it to landscape. Yes, it does. So at the bottom it says, align green line with the front edge of the hood. Now, because I'm driving a big truck, I don't want it to be pointing too far up in the sky. Normally a car's hood might not even be visible, so I'm going to leave it where it is. I think that shows plenty of what's going on. I think when you click on the screen, then click on this little box up here, it takes away the crosshairs. I don't know what R stands for. There's a little microphone icon in the corner. Let's click on the back arrow because I'm not seeing any settings here. Dashcam settings. Let's see, what have we got then? Memory card settings. I don't think I need to format it, but we'll see. You know what, I'll just format it. We'll be starting afresh.
Memory card format will now start. Memory card format completed.
Lovely. Let's see what we've got. Incident recording in continuous mode, motion detection recording in parking mode, incident recording, blah, 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 lots of stuff. Okay, so that's the memory card settings. Let's go back. Camera settings. What do we have? 4K 30 frames per second and QHD 30 frames per second. So the front camera is 4K, but I think I've got an option to change that to front camera 60 frames per second. So that would be a lower, it wouldn't be 4K, maybe 2K at the front. So it would be the same front, but higher frames per second. If there's an issue with getting number plate numbers, registration numbers off the camera, then I'll change it to 60, but I'm going to leave it on 4K, 30 frames per second. Brightness front, we'll leave that in mid. Brightness rear, leave that in mid. Rotate rear camera. Oh, that's interesting, because I don't actually know what the rear camera looks like. Let's have a look. Presumably, if we go to live view, I think the R maybe stands for rear camera, which is this one here. Yes, we're upside down. So let us go back to dashcam settings, camera settings, rotate rear camera enabled. Let's make sure that worked. We need to go back to live view. Rear camera now working. Now, as you can see, it is kind of pointing slightly to the left. Not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately. I can rotate it up and down, but not left and right, and that's why you kind of want it in the middle of your rear screen. There still should be enough information there. I'm not going to dwell too much on that one. Right, let's go back to settings. See what else we have. Dashcam settings. So we've done the camera settings, record settings. Continuous mode, incident recording sensitivity. So that's how hard something happens, like if someone hits you. You don't want it to be going off every time a twig or a stone chip hits the front of the car. So I might change that to mid for now. Super night vision. Alright, so you've got an option for when the super night vision is on, and at the moment it's only set to parking mode. Let's leave that for now. Parking mode settings. Parking mode is disabled, which is fine because I don't have it hardwired yet, so it wouldn't work anyway. Impact sensitivity in parking mode, it's set to mid. Motion detection sensitivity set to mid. Off timer 48 hours. That's fine. Battery protection enabled. That's good. Basically what happens is it will detect whether your car battery is getting too low to start the car, and it will switch the camera off so it doesn't drain any further. And it shows it gives you an option of when you want to set that. So for this truck, I don't want it going below 12 volts. So that's where it's set to. Winter time battery protection. I need to look into that. I'm not sure what that does. Radar is disabled because I don't have the optional radar detector attachment. What's next? Road safety settings. Wonder what we get in there. Safety cameras. Interesting. Mobile zone alert. Vehicle type. Oh, let's change that to a truck. Oh, it says truck/bus. Let's put it on SUV. I think we're more like an SUV than a bus, let's face it. Initialize ADAS. I don't know what that is. I'll look into it. Lane departure warning. Disabled because I hate that nonsense. I know how to drive. LDWS speed is 50. I need to look up and see what LDWS is. Lane departure warning. That's what it is. So over 50 or 50 and above, it'll give you the lane departure warning. What else do we have? Front collision warning, disabled. Interesting. I seem to be stuck in done something silly. Ignore that. Low speed, front collision warning, disabled. And FV, front vehicle departure warning, disabled. Lots of functions that I may or may not use. Let's see what else we got. Let's look at system settings. Language English, which is fine because that's what I speak. Volume 2. Security LED disabled. Presumably that means you don't have any flashing lights or distractions on the front camera. I don't know if there's anything lit up in the back camera. Oh, it just says it's disabled as well. So there is a little warning light, which might be good for your parking sensors at night so people know not to go near your vehicle. Time zone, daylight savings, speed unit. I'm going to change that to kilometers an hour because I'm in Canada. Speed stamp. Let's disable that, officer. Wi-Fi frequency band. I'm not sure if I want 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. Voice recording enabled. Next. Network function settings. What do we get in here? Network function disabled. Okay, I don't know whether I should enable that or not. Strong impact notification while driving. I don't know if it's going to notify you or somewhere. Let's say someone else is driving and you've got this connected to a Wi-Fi hotspot. Maybe that's what that's for, because let's face it, if you're driving the car, you know there's a strong impact while driving. Upload driving impact video. This must be a remote thing. Notify impact while parked. Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm not going to be able to enable these until I've got it hardwired, which I will do in this video later on. Strong impact notification while parked, and upload strong impact video recorded while parked. Excellent, lots of functions. So that's all our functions, I believe. And you've got dashcam info, which is probably just firmware version, model number, all that kind of thing. And connection settings. And it's just Wi-Fi settings. I think I'll probably enable the hotspot, because apparently if you enable Wi-Fi hotspot, then it will not shout at you that it's looking for a Wi-Fi connection every time you switch it on, but that may drain the battery a bit. So we are pretty much ready to test. Let's change it to the front camera. And we're ready to go for a drive. Let's go for a quick drive around the block. We'll test the front camera, the rear camera and the audio on the dash cam itself. It will probably make all sorts of noises when I start the engine on, because it usually switches off the accessory and back on, so.
Continuous recording will now start.
See what I
On
mean?
your smartphone, connect to a Wi-Fi network whose name starts with Thinkware.
That's what I'm talking about.
Connected.
Are you finished? Thank you. If you set it to hotspot, then it will stop asking for that Wi-Fi every time, or that's what I've heard, but we'll test that later when we hardwire it. But as I say, let's go for a quick spin around the block. I'm going to shut up now. Well, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to change it from the iPhone camera audio to the dashcam audio. So now we are on the dashcam audio microphone. So I will find out when I get back if the audio is any good. And obviously we'll get to see how good the quality is of the front and rear dashcam. So I will shut up for now. That should be enough audio experimentation to tell if the dashcam audio is going to be any good. You shouldn't really need the dashcam audio unless you have an interaction with a person during an incident, I guess. Anyway, quick spin, let's go. And we are home. I am going to do a quick review of that footage and give you my first impressions before we move on to the hardwiring and all the other functions. See you in a flash. First impressions are extremely favourable. Colour is nice, image is crisp, but we still have to do a still shot and make sure we can read license plates, and especially nighttime footage. I also want to do all the motion detection stuff, you know, the parking sensor stuff, but I can't do that until I've installed the hardwire kit. So I'm going to quickly install the hardwire for the power, install the wiring to the back camera. But as I said before, this is all very specific to the Ram 1500, so I'll include that installation at the end of the video. So for now, let's have a look at all the other fun stuff it does. I now have all my cabling installed, including the hardwire cable, and all that's visible are those two wires that disappear into the headliner. They disappear down there, around here, in here, and the rear cable for the rear camera, you can barely see that. This video is already quite long, so I've made a separate video, link up there and in the description for the hardwire installation. It is quite specific to a 4th gen Ram 1500. Okay, let's see what other features we've got in this dash cam then. So I went ahead and changed a couple of settings. The first one, I've added a Wi-Fi hotspot. The Wi-Fi hotspot is intended really for fleet use, so the dispatcher can keep track of all the vehicles. The downside to the use of the cloud is you need a internet capable device in your vehicle at all times with data. So the likes of going into the shops, you can't check your phone for anything that's happening to your vehicle because your phone needs to be in the vehicle. It's kind of, maybe they're thinking ahead to when all vehicles have got a Wi-Fi enabled device built into their vehicle. But the main reason I've installed the Wi-Fi hotspot is to stop that lady voice constantly asking me for a Wi-Fi connection every time I switch it on. So hopefully that won't happen anymore. The second setting I've changed is super night vision. It wasn't actually connected, it wasn't activated on video that I took the other night, and I wasn't impressed at all with the quality. So I've switched the super night vision on. I don't even know why you would not have super night vision on. You kind of want to see everything in the dark. There must be a reason for it. It maybe affects quality in a different way. So I've got that switched on. I'll do a side-by-side comparison later in the video. So for now, we are going to switch on the dash cam and see what she has to say. She will probably notify us if there's been any incidents while we've not been in the vehicle, but hopefully she will not be asking us for a Wi-Fi connection. Let's find out. Give her a wee minute to warm up, get her stuff together.
During parking mode, motion detection recording. 4 and event detection recording. 2 occurred. Continuous recording will now start.
Excellent. I think she's also going to let me know that GPS has been detected or activated.
GPS connected.
Okay, not quite sure what the GPS is going to do, but it's connected. But she didn't ask me for Wi-Fi, which is the biggie. I just didn't want that constant nag. There is another way to deactivate it. It's not really deactivating, it's turn the volume all the way down on one of the settings. Okay, enough waffle. I am going to now do a compilation video with daytime driving. I want to try and pull up license plates and make sure we can read them. We'll do a nighttime drive around. Again, we'll try and pull up license plate numbers, see if we can see them, and I'll do that side-by-side comparison. So, go grab a coffee. Might want to pause the video while you get the coffee, come back and watch this, and I will give you my full, honest conclusion and thoughts on this product after this. See you soon. I'm going to stop the video there because the nighttime footage was awful. Now, I did set it to super night vision, but as you can see, the quality is pretty bad. It's grainy, the colours are washed out, and there's plenty of street lighting at this section, but when I pull up to this vehicle in front of me, you can't even read the rear license plate. I would expect at least to be stationary like this. You would at least be able to see a plate right in front of you. So that's pretty bad. The rear view camera, just awful. And as you get into areas with no street lighting, it's just ridiculous. So I don't know if they have maybe sent me a faulty camera, but either way, you shouldn't be plugging in your dash cam and have footage like this straight out the box. It's really bad. I will contact them and let them know, if they haven't seen this video yet, that it's obviously not doing what it's supposed to do. But that's not the only problem. I've got a list of grievances. Starting with the filing system. When I took the SD card out of the dash cam, put it into my PC, everything was in the wrong place. It had like continuous driving in parking mode, and there was like 4 events which were just general driving about. It's either the dash cam is broken or the SD card is corrupted, but it's their SD card that they sent. So if they've cheaped out on the SD card to the detriment of the overall dash cam functions, then that's a bad move. Other problems. I set it to motion detect last night when I parked the truck, and it recorded all night on continuous. So it started overwriting everything that was on during the night. I only had morning footage in the daylight, so I had no nighttime footage of motion detect at all. And it was set to mid, so it shouldn't have just been running all night. That also means that it's just constantly draining your battery, because if it's just running all the time, it might as well just be switched on all the time. Not happy with that at all. And as you probably saw, the daytime footage was nice, but you still couldn't really read the number plates to the left and right of centre. And I'm really starting to think they sent me a faulty camera. But I could have easily contacted them first and told them the issues before I uploaded this video. However, I don't work for them, I work for you guys, and you really need an honest review. And honestly, I'm not happy at all. I spent a lot of time installing this dash cam, doing all the wiring, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to use that. I've done previous dash cam reviews and the quality is far superior and half the price of this unit. So there you go. What started out as what I thought was going to be a really great dash cam with lots of features, I don't think I'll be using it. What a shame. So I'll contact Thinkware and I'll give you an update on any response I get from them. But for the moment, it looks like I'm still in the hunt for a quality dash cam for my big white truck. That was unfortunate. Anyway, honest reviews. Who needs them, eh?